Hi, in this video, we are going to create dynamic tabs in GreenShift. Basically, we are going to create this tab, okay, like this. Of course, this is a static tab, but uh, in our WordPress website with GreenShift, we are going to see how we can uh, create this tab with the dynamic data. Okay, for example, in some cases we might have some services and we like to display the services name and its information as a tab. We could that this approach will be very helpful on that situation. And GreenShift comes with some advanced tab widgets also, but that is for the static content. But for the dynamic content, we it doesn't have a default options. So it's this approach will be very suited for that. Okay, yeah, this is the tab that we are going to integrate with the GreenShift, and this is the code. This is the tab that I have created with the help of ChatGPT, and you can see it's very simple tab with the tab option, tab name, and the tab content covered with its wrapper. Okay, and the CSS styles, of course, this everything that doesn't run this tab can be customized with your own CSS styles as per your needs. And in this, this is the JS script that will uh, provide the tab option, not only the tab option, but also the accordion effect for the mobile resolution. For example, on desktop, it will display like a tab on mobile resolutions. If you see that on mobile resolution, then it will act like accordion. That suits very well for the mobile screens. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's see how we can create a dynamic tab, create a this tab in our green set. First, let us create this tab into our WordPress website as a static tabs. Then we can make that as a dynamic one. Okay. In my local environment, I have installed a GreenShift core plugin and a query add-on that is needed for the, you know, getting the dynamic data and advanced custom field pro version. You can use it for, you can use that free version ACF field, free version also. I am using this only to create the custom post types, which I will explain shortly once I create the static tabs. Okay. Yeah, and then I'm using a VP code box to add these styles and JS. uh, you could use the free version like VP Code Lite, which is very useful. It has more than a 2 million downloads. So uh, you know I have VP Code Box, so I am get familiar. I already familiar with this VP Code Box, so I am using that. It's not mandatory to use this. You can use this also. Okay, yeah. Then okay, let's create. Uh, Also, I have installed GreenShift. I need to install the GreenShift theme. Okay, let me install the GreenShift theme. Yeah. The reason why I'm using GreenShift means just a block theme. Okay. I think we can use any block theme with the GreenShift. Okay. For our use case, GreenShift theme is better. So I'm using that. Okay. Okay. Let's let's create a page. Let's name it as a tab page. Okay. And this is the structure which we are going to implement. We are going to have a section and we'll have a tab container, I mean a tab div. And then we will have a tab title which will be wrapped with the title wrapper, and all the titles will be wrapped with the name with the class of dynamic tab titles. Okay, this class is very important because based on these classes only our script will work. Of course, you can change these classes. If you change these classes, be make sure that you have applied the same things here on the script also. Okay. For this video, I'm going to follow the same classes. Okay, I will explain it shortly so you can understand clearly. Okay, let me open the structure panel. Let me create a section first, section element. Okay, and underneath that, I'm going to create a div, which will be which will hold our you know tab. So I am going to make this name it as dynamic tab. Okay, and I'm going to add a class called dynamic tabs. Tab. I think just a tab. Yeah, dynamic tab. Okay. Underneath this, we are going to create another div that will have all the tab titles. Tab titles. Okay. And underneath that, we are going to have a title wrapper. Tab title wrapper. And underneath that, we are going to let me create here itself. We are going to have the title. For now, I am going to make it as a H3. Okay. And the title class will be this one. And let me create this title and make it as a local class. Okay. And for this one, let me this will be a wrapper around the title, right? So I'm going to name it as title dash wrapper. Okay. And it will be a local class. And will be a wrapper around all the title wrappers. So I think it's just a dynamic titles. Yeah. Here, dynamic tab underscore double underscore. By the way, I'm following the bean structure for naming the classes. Okay, you can use in case if you wondering what structure I'm using here. Okay, and it will be our titles. Great. Now we have created a first tab. Okay, and let us make this as a text and name it as a tab one. Okay. This is the one important step. We have to add a dynamic attribute here, but for now I make it as a static attribute. Attribute name will be tab ID. That will be data tab ID, and I'm going to give as a static one. Okay, static value as a one. And here, let me duplicate this since we need multiple tabs, right? So I'm going to clone, duplicate this one, and here underneath that, I'm going to name this as a tab two, and on the dynamic attributes, I'm going to make this as a two. Based on this dynamic attribute only, our script will, make the tabs as active one. Okay, for example, if I click the tab one, then it will make the based on that dynamic attribute, it will open the same tab one content. Okay, like that. You can see here also have a dynamic attribute. We are going to add that as well. Okay, let's create another tab also. And here, let's name this as a tab 3 and make this as a tab ID 3. Okay. Okay. Now we have created the tab headings. Let us create a tab content. This will be a wrapper, tab content wrapper. So let us name this as a tab content wrapper, and it has a class dynamic tab underscore content wrapper. Okay, I'm naming this each of them based on these classes only. Okay, you can see here I name this as a content wrapper. So the same class that I have used on this code. Okay, and here underneath that we will have a tab on content first. Okay, let me create one. Let me add a div, and this will be a tab on content. Okay, and it will have a class dynamic dash tab underscore content. Okay, and it will have whatever content we can put. For now, I'm going to add div and make this as a paragraph tag. Okay, we can make this as a paragraph tag, but and we could add any content here. I'm going to use lipsum. Okay, yeah, here it is. To differentiate which tab we are saying, I'm going to make this as a tab on content and then add the text. Okay, so we can differentiate. We can see it, uh, the active tabs clearly. Okay. Okay. Another thing which is important here on the tab content wrapper. Okay. Tab content on the tab content. Sorry, we have to add the dynamic attribute that will be data tab content, and it should be the same ID that we have used for the tab one heading. Okay, which ID we have used? We have set it as a one, so we have to set same thing here also. Okay, based on that only, this is a very important step. Okay, we have to add dynamic attributes for the tab title as well as the tab content. Okay, and okay, let me make sure that I have used correctly. Tab content, data tab content. Okay, I have named it correctly. Okay, now let's clone this two times. So let's rename this as a tab to content just for our reference. And I'm going to make this dynamic attributes as a two on the content section. I'm going to change the title, the text as a tab two, so we can identify it easily. Tab three should be a tab three, and the dynamic attribute should be a tab three. And on the paragraph tag, let's see this. Yeah, I think we have completed everything. Okay, for our reference, I'm going to name this as a tab one title wrapper. Okay, and you know by using in the structure we can easily identify which content when we edit it. Okay, so that only just create this, rename this as tab three title wrapper. Okay, I think we have completed the static part. Let's save this and see then the front end. Of course, we won't see the tab option because we haven't added the styles and the script that is needed to make this dynamic, as a tab. Okay, not a dynamic tab. We are yet to create the dynamic tab. Okay, for that, what we have to do? We have to go to the code, Synaptic plugin. Okay, to add this CSS and the JS. Okay, let me go to the VP code box. Okay, and let me add tab CSS first, and should be a CSS. Okay, and I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Let me save this. It is not yet active. Let me active this CSS. Okay, now it's active. Let me add another one for the script. It's a tab JS, and it will be a JS JavaScript. So Here it is. I'm going to save this and make it active. Okay, let's see. Let's see the front end of this page and whether the tab is displaying or not. Okay, it is displaying, but it is not, loading the content. Let's see, debug this. What is the issue? Okay, okay. Whether it is tab, it's active, and that content wrapper. It's tab on tab. Let me debug it. Why it is not displaying? Yeah, it's correctly working. Let me check whether I have added the classes correctly. It's a dynamic tab. Is it correct? Dynamic tab underscore content. Yes, I think it's correct. Come on. Ba, ba, ba. We have okay, this. Okay. And underneath that, we have added the classes. Yeah, display none. Which one is active? Okay, it is not it is not at active. This content wrapper is not active. Why? Let's see. By default should, but it's not. Let me check the script which I have added. Let me go to the script. Content wrapper, the content. Yes, it's correct. Content title wrapper. It should be the breakpoints for the mobile resolutions. Okay, the first. Okay. Yeah. I think I have did everything correct. Hmm. Why, let's see. Let's see. Tab one. Did I have this step? Uh, I now I can see what is the problem. What I did means I have added the dynamic attributes to the heading tag. Actually, it should be a title. It should be on the title wrapper. Okay, that is the reason it's not working. Let me correct that. Let me correct this and see whether it's working. Data tab ID. It will be one, and here the data tab ID. Let me copy this so I don't want to type this again on third tab, and here, yeah, and let us clear this. We don't want that on heading element. Okay, yeah, let's say save that and see whether it's working. Yeah, it is working now. Here it is. Now our static content, static tab is working, right? And if on mobile resolution, it should work automatically. Okay. Yeah. Now let's see how we can make this dynamic. Okay. Our plan is to create, show our services as a dynamic tab. Okay. So for that, I'm going to create a content type using ACF post types. Of course, you could use any plugin to create custom post type. Usually I use ACF, so I'm using that. I'm going to make this create a service and service, and it will be a services key. And we don't have any uh, RK effect or RQ or taxonomy for this, so I'm going to save this. That's it. Now we have the service post type. Let's create two, three. Okay. And first one will be automotive. service, and here let's copy the some content for the service. Okay, and let me add the here tab one. Okay, I think we don't need that, right? Okay, and let me publish that, and let me create another one. It will be for financial. So finance, and copy this, paste that some text, and the final one will be whatever, maybe IT services. Yeah, now we have created three services, and see, let us see how we can uh, display that dynamically in this tab. Okay, let's we are not going to totally change that. Okay, just duplicate this, and we'll keep the static one as it is, and we'll duplicate it, and you know change here. Okay, on the as a new section. On the dynamic tab, we are going to make this dynamic. Okay, how we can do that? Let's let's remove this. Okay, let me add a query loop. Okay, and on the query loop, this is the widgets that comes from the GreenShift query add-on. Okay, on the query add-on, what we are going to do means we are going to select the custom post type, and here we are going to select our services. Okay, and you can see automatically it's displayed all the services that we have. Okay, and yeah, let's make this inline, and it's okay, and we don't need this the template that comes with the query loop. Okay, we are going to delete that, and we are going to have this tab content, tab title wrapper, and the heading. Okay, so we are going to remove this as well. On this one, we are, you can see before we set a static one, right? Now we are going to make this as a dynamic one. How you just using the dynamic add-on. Okay, and it will be a post data, and we are going to use, you know, the post ID here. Okay, it will, it will assign the post ID for each tabs automatically. If it is a automotive service, then it will add the dynamic attributes to that automatic service post ID automatically. Okay, and here we are going to make this dynamic. Okay, and this, it will be a post data, and it will be a current one, and the service, and it will be a title. Now you can see it's automatically added that. Okay, and yeah, that's it. Now we have the tabs. Okay, and let's remove this because we don't need that static ones now. Okay, and the query loops, I think data settings, we are good with that. Spacing also we are good with that. And the border, I think we don't need any borders. So we can remove this. Mm, how we can remove this? Let's see. Border radius, they have provided border radius, and okay, that comes with the this query add an query loop. Okay, I just wondering if if they give plain query loop, that will be even great. Yeah, of course, this query loop builder provide a lot of options like we could create a dynamic sliders easily. Okay, but in some use case, we know we just need you know empty query loop without any styles within that. So it will help us to recreate, create any dynamic content as per our design easily. Okay, I think yeah. Let me name it. No, okay. Now we made these titles as a dynamic one now. Let's create the wrapper, content. Okay. Here also we need to add a query loop, the same query loop. Even what we can do on, we don't need to do that same thing again. We just duplicate this and put it here. Okay. On the tab option, what we can do means we can move this content section and remove this. Okay. Also under the content tab content div, we are going to make this dynamic tab dynamic attributes by assigning the post ID as like we did for the titles. Okay. Post ID. Okay. Here we have to select service and the post ID. Did I correct? Okay. Okay. Then let's delete this static ones. And I think we did that everything. We did everything as per the structure. Let's save this and see it on front end. Does does it create any values? No, it's not creating any values. Okay, let's see what is the problem that we have now. It seems like we have to do a lot of debugs uh, before doing any. When I test it out, it's working fine. But I forgot one thing. I have to make this dynamic, right? I haven't changed this. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let's remove this and make this as a dynamic content. Post data, current one, and it will be service, and it should display the one minute. Let me see where is that dynamic value, and it should be we should have a content, right? Hmm. Dynamic value, post data, and inside data, defined, okay, service. Yeah, here it is. We have to set this as a from here itself. We have to select formatted content. Okay, and we have to select the services. Yeah, I think I did that correctly. Let me refresh this now. Should no. Yeah, it is doing the change, but styles that we have added, it's not a, it's I have added lipsum so here, so I have added the same content for the IT service, finance, automotive. So that is the reason why we don't see any changes here. What we can do means we can go to here and what we let me see it as services, okay, and if I refresh it on the front end. Yeah, here it is, IT service. Like that, then only we can see the differentiation, right? Since I have added the same lipsum text for all the services, I couldn't able to find the difference, which tab is active. Finance, automotive. Now we can see the difference, which tab is active, which tab is not. Okay, now it's IT services active and finance. Now it's finance is active, and automotive is active. Okay, and see now it's our tab option is working, but the style it's somewhat it's not applied. Let's see why it is. The reason why style is not applying means that query builder comes up with some default styles that is overlapping with the stabs that stab styles that we have added, the custom styles that we added. It's overlapping with these styles. Okay, that is the reason why it is applying. Let's see. It is active. Okay, and yeah, you can see lot of default styles are applied. Overflow hidden, native, okay. And white is it's not applying. Background color, okay. It is active. Should come up. If dynamic tab wrapper is not active, then it should give that, right? Instance. Okay. If I click this dynamic titles and it is adding the wrapper to which one? Which one? Which one? Yeah, it is adding the wrapper, but it is oh, here's a border. Okay, here it is. Our GreenShift style is applying here. Okay, that is the reason why it is not showing the active tab border. Okay, what I'm going to do means I'm going to copy this and make this overflow. Let me this is how we can debug this, how we can how what are the styles are overriding with our styles, custom styles, wrapper titles, okay. And if we has any class, we allow overflow auto. Oh, mm, okay, visible. Okay, now it's applied and see why it is the padding is not applied. The reason is we haven't add any spacing. That is the reason why it is not applied. Let me copy this and include it on my styles. Of course, I will add the styles to the this go into this as well. So let me add here it is now itself. So it will be overrides, TS overrides. Okay. Let me save this. Oh, did I open it multiple times? Yeah. Okay. Let me close this one. Okay. Now let's see how it is displaying. Let me refresh it. Still, it's not overriding. Hmm. Oh, it has a specificity of 0.030 and our values has only 0.2. Mm. This make us very difficult because they have a value of specificity of 0.030 and we have only 2. What we can do? Okay, I have an idea. Let's let's add another. Uh, we will add that dynamic. We will have this dynamic tab class also. So the specificity will be more than that, or not more than that. It will be equal to the 3. Should yeah. Now you can see here our custom class styles is applying also, and the specificity is same as the default one that comes with the GreenShift 030, and here also 3030. So our custom size is overriding the default one. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the spacing. What we can do for the spacing, I can add 5, 10 pixel. Save this, and it will solve this issue. Here it is. Now you can customize this, of course. You can customize the add the value that you like to have between the gap between the each tab titles. Okay. For now, I have added 15 pixel. Whatever you can make it as a dynamic. Also, you can assign CSS variable in here. Okay. GreenShift provide that option, so you can add a CSS variable instead of the static one. 15 pixels is a static one, right? We can add a CSS variable like we can use core frameworks styles here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see whether that the uh, here it is. Let's see. The mobile version is not working because we set this uh, mm, as a relative one. Okay. We set it as a flex item and direction as a row, right? For the mobile resolution, I think we should make this as direction flex direction as a column, so it will work. Here it is. Okay. Now we have a working dynamic options. For example, if I will show the beauty of this. Let me add another service. Okay. Government, and Lipsum. Let's add just a short text. Now, if I add a new services here, it will automatically populated on the dynamic tabs. You can see here, it's dynamic tab. The government is up, displayed here. Okay, it automatically. You can change the order based on the query parameter. Okay, you can change that into whatever order you like to implement. Okay, add extra query parameters and make that sort it out. Okay, since the scope of this tutorial is just to create a dynamic tab, you can customize it as per your needs. That is the beauty of the dynamic options, right? Yeah. Mm, I will add this code in my video description so you can copy it and use it as per your use case. Of course, you can customize the styles and the JS as per your use cases. And when you make this dynamic, the GreenShift will add some extra wrappers like this. Okay, you have to customize. You have to add a custom CSS to overcome those styles that comes with that wrappers. Okay, you can see this is the extra wrapper that was added by the GreenShift, and it comes with certain classes, and we have remove added a style custom CSS to override that one. I'm also going to update this. Okay, so you can use it clearly. You can use it easily. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Please let me know if you have any questions regarding this. And if you like my video, please give a like and share, subscribe to my channels. And that will encourage me to create more videos regarding the green safety elements and WordPress. Yeah. Thank you.